Vinegar fixes all. That's what a lot of people believe, and it's easy to see why. White vinegar is cheap, it's natural, and it does actually clean some things pretty well. Grease on glass, mineral deposits on a shower head, sure, vinegar handles those fine. But somewhere along the way, people started treating it like a miracle solution for every surface in the house, and that's where things go wrong. Pour it on natural stone like marble or granite, and it eats into the surface, leaving dull, etched patches that don't buff out. Use it on cast iron, and you strip the seasoning right off. It also degrades rubber seals over time, which can cause real problems in appliances. So buying it by the gallon for general cleaning often just means spending money to quietly ruin the things you own. More soap, more clean. It seems obvious. If a little soap cleans well, more soap should clean better. A lot of people think this way, and it makes a kind of intuitive sense. But it doesn't actually work like that. Soap needs water to rinse away completely, and there's only so much water in a wash cycle. When you add too much detergent, it doesn't all get flushed out. It stays behind on your dishes, your clothes, your machine's interior. That leftover residue can irritate skin, leave a filmy coating on glassware, and build up inside your dishwasher or washing machine over time, eventually causing mechanical problems. You also end up running extra rinse cycles just to deal with the mess, which wastes both water and time. The right amount of soap is enough. More is just more to clean up later. Bleach kills everything. This is what most people assume, anyway. And bleach does work, when you use it right. The problem is most people don't. Once you dilute bleach and leave it sitting around, it starts breaking down almost immediately. A solution mixed in the morning might be nearly useless by afternoon. It also can't push through grease or grime. Spray it on a dirty surface and it just reacts with the dirt instead of killing anything underneath. You've basically wasted it. Then there's the overuse problem. People reach for bleach to wipe down a kitchen counter when plain soap and water would have done the job fine. Bleach is genuinely useful for sanitizing things like cutting boards or killing mold. But treating it like an all-purpose miracle cleaner costs more money, damages surfaces faster, and doesn't actually get things any cleaner. DIY always wins. There's a popular idea that making your own cleaning products saves money and works better. It sounds right. You're cutting out the middleman, using simple ingredients, keeping things natural. But the math doesn't always hold up. Take a basic all-purpose spray. You need Castile soap, which runs around $8 to $12 a bottle. Then maybe some essential oils for scent or antibacterial properties, and those can cost $10 to $20 for a small vial. Add a glass spray bottle, another $5. You've now spent more than a month's worth of commercial cleaner before you've cleaned a single surface. For a small household that goes through products slowly, those ingredients sit around and lose potency. The store-bought bottle at $2 would have done the job just fine. Homemade isn't automatically cheaper. It depends entirely on how much you actually use. Bulk buys save money. Buying the giant container of cleaner feels like a smart move. You pay less per ounce, and that math looks pretty good on paper. But there's a catch most people miss. A lot of cleaning products have a shelf life. Bleach, for example, starts breaking down after about 6 months. Disinfectant sprays lose potency too. If you live alone and barely use the stuff, that jumbo bottle might be half full and mostly useless before you ever finish it. Storage matters as well. Heat and light speed up degradation, and not everyone has a cool, dark utility closet. So that bulk savings disappears fast when you're throwing out product that no longer actually works. Buying a size that matches your real usage rate is almost always the smarter call. Essential oils. Disinfect. This one is everywhere. People add a few drops of tea tree or lavender oil to their homemade cleaners and assume they've built something powerful. It makes sense on the surface because tea tree oil does have antimicrobial properties in lab settings. But there's a catch. Those lab results use concentrations around 5% or higher. Most DIY recipes use maybe 10 to 20 drops per bottle, which lands somewhere closer to 1 or 2%. That's not enough to actually kill pathogens reliably. The smell is pleasant, the bottle looks natural and intentional, but the cleaning power isn't there. Meanwhile, essential oils are expensive. A small bottle costs several dollars and evaporates fast. You're paying a premium for fragrance, not protection. If disinfecting is the actual goal, concentration and chemistry matter more than ingredients. Generic brands underperform. That's what the commercials want you to believe. But here's the thing. Most store-brand cleaners use the exact same active ingredients as the name-brand versions sitting right next to them on the shelf. The same surfactants, the same disinfecting compounds, sometimes made in the same facility. The formula isn't the secret, the marketing is. When people grab the generic bottle and use twice as much because they assume it's weaker, that's not the product failing. That's the myth doing its job. Manufacturers spend enormous money making you feel like their logo means better chemistry. It usually doesn't. Switching to store-brand cleaners for everyday tasks, bathroom, kitchen, glass, can save a typical household a few $100s a year. The dirt doesn't know what brand you bought. Dryer sheets are essential. Most people grab them without thinking. They're just part of laundry, right? Not really. Dryer sheets and liquid fabric softener coat your fabric fibers with a waxy residue. That coating is what makes clothes feel soft. But on towels, it's a problem. It blocks the tiny loops that absorb water, so your towels end up less effective over time. The residue also builds up inside your dryer, on the lint trap and drum, which can become a fire hazard if ignored. And you're buying these things every few weeks. Here's the thing. Wool dryer balls do the same job. They bounce around, separate the laundry, reduce static, and cut drying time. You buy them once, and they last for years. The softness you're paying for with dryer sheets is just a coating your clothes didn't need in the first place. Dish soap does it all. It seems like a reasonable swap. Dish soap cuts through grease on plates, so why not use it in the washing machine, on the floor, or as an all-purpose spray? The problem is that dish soap is specifically built to produce a lot of suds. That lather is great in a sink full of water where you're rinsing constantly. Everywhere else, it becomes a headache. Put it in a washing machine and you get an overflow of foam that can clog the drum and damage internal parts. Spray it on a countertop and it leaves a thin, sticky film that actually attracts more dirt over time. The residue is just harder to fully rinse away than purpose-made cleaners. Dish soap does one job really well. When you stretch it beyond that, you usually create more work, not less. Cheap means frugal. Not exactly. Grabbing the cheapest bottle on the shelf feels like smart shopping, but it usually isn't. The lowest price doesn't mean the lowest cost. That's the difference between price and cost per use. A $2 all-purpose cleaner that runs out in 2 weeks costs more annually than a $7 concentrate that lasts 3 months. The math is simple once you run it. Concentrated formulas get diluted, so one bottle does the job of several. Multi-purpose cleaners replace 4 or 5 specialized products, cutting what you spend across the board. Same principle applies to effectiveness. A product that needs 3 or 4 applications per task uses more than one that works the first time. True frugal cleaning is about getting the most cleaning done per dollar spent, not about who had the lowest sticker price on the shelf that day.